Hello and welcome to this week's Team Intelligence Hints and Tips updates to help you create a unified, high-performing team. My name is Greg Bowles, I'm the CEO of Bowles & Associates. This week what I wanted to talk about or share with you is another performance tip of high-performing teams. This is to help you guys to refine your team and get them back on track, but to also just to give you that extra, that 5% gap of just to get that extra mile, that extra result. And this week what I wanted to talk about was something that I'm quite passionate about and something that I think is quite an issue in a lot of offices, businesses, teams, and that's busyness. And what I mean by that is that people tend to get bogged down in being busy when what they're doing is they're juggling too many things at once and they're not actually completing. They start something and they don't actually follow it through to completion. Now, this is an issue for businesses because basically what it causes long to-do lists. The long to-do lists then lead to stress. Then what happens is that conflict starts to happen in teams because people are under the pump, they're stressed. This then affects their health, it affects their personal lives, they don't sleep well, they may not eat well, especially if they're at their desks, they may sort of turn to fast food, and they're really not looking after themselves. And what I wanted to do was to share with you a tip that I've seen in high-performing teams and something that I use myself, and it's about not multitasking. Multitasking is not the answer. The answer is actually to focus. And what I mean by that is if you're doing 5 things at once, your brain is constantly thinking about the other things you're not doing. That's just how we are programmed as human beings. Now, do a search for it, have a look around, do some research. If you don't believe me, there's plenty of articles and plenty of research out there now proving that multitasking is not productive and it's not helping you perform better. You are better off focusing on one project, or it might be for that day that you focus on 5 projects, but you allocate, say, an hour to each project, and you focus on that project for that period of time. Now, to take this to another level and to get some advanced tips for you, I wanted to share with you on the behavioural and personality styles that we use in our team intelligence communication model, is that the 4 types, there's one thing you need to do or one to focus on for each of them when you have these people in your team. Now the first one is the lion. The lion is all about winning in the challenge. So for them to get focused, it's not really about focusing, it's just telling them what the challenge is and where you want them to head. They will actually focus themselves. They're very, very focused types of people. The second type is the dolphin. Now the dolphin tends to be shiny thing syndrome. They love starting a lot of things. They aren't so great at focusing and completing them. So what you want to do is really to get them, they're all about more about adventure and fun. So get them to focus on the adventure of the project, and then they can then get them to actually choose a task that gets them closer to the end goal. The third type is the mother bear. Now the mother bear, because their core need is comfort, they need a system and a how to actually do a project task or to complete a goal. So where they'll be falling down and where you as the leader, you need to help your team refocus, is you need to get these types of people to focus back on the big picture. They need to take themselves out of the detail of, because they suffer from paralysis analysis. And what that is basically they'll look at the end goal and they'll be too focused on the end and how to get there rather than what's the next step, what's the next step, what's the next step. So you really need to help them to understand what's the first step that they can do, then what's the second step, what's the third step. Now I know from you leaders out there that might be lions, you'll probably find that's frustrating, but these are fantastic support people, I'm sure you will agree. The fourth type is the squirrel. The squirrel is all about systems, processes, and just getting things right. And what I mean by that is they will base their task or completing a goal based upon some sort of system or process that you've got actually implemented or need to implement to get that done. So what you want to do is get them involved in why it's important to use a particular process, or even one better is to get them to choose the process and then tell you why that they think it's the best method for you guys to move forward and to achieve that goal. So I trust that's been of value. We've been talking about losing the busyness and focus on getting the results by focusing on one task at a time. Now I know that this can be a challenge for some teams. It's about practicing, it's about you refining your coaching skills as a leader. It's about being able to identify when there's your team's bogged down, things aren't happening as fast as they possibly could, and then connecting with each of them to work out how they need to get connected to their energy to move forward and move you towards your end goal. If you're interested to know about our short course of coaching skills for leaders, get in contact with us. Otherwise, get in contact to find out how our team intelligence diagnostic tool can help you identify what's holding your team back and propel you guys forward towards your 2015-2016 goals. Until next week, thanks for watching.